Nick in the States, and today we're going to do my guitar review, my demo, my explanation, my joy, my love fest to the vintage V100 AFD. What is this, you ask? Well, I assure you it is not a Gibson Les Paul. I assure you it is not a copy of a Gibson Les Paul. And I assure you that it is in no way trying to crib the wonders that is the Slash Appetite for Destruction guitars out of the custom shop or even out of Epiphone or anywhere. It is its own beast, and AFD means nothing. And the PARADAI53, whatever number that they give it, also nothing to pay attention here. There's nothing to see here. Carry on. It's just a lovely guitar with a single cutish shape, with a contoury kind of heel. This beautiful piece has a two-piece mahogany back. Has a really nice flame top transparent amber finish. Zebra pickups there. It's a veneer over, some sort of mystery wood. Hopefully maple. Feels like maple. Heavy like maple. Hardware on it is all very nice, actually. Well done. Wilkinson hardware. And three-way flip switch. It feels it does flip switchy things. It's a 24 3/4 inch scale. It's got a rosewood fretboard. It's got medium jumbo frets. The nut looks like it's some kind of corany, plasticky, something developed at a factory to give you wonderful tones. And it's not a bell in the truss rod. It's a bullet of sorts. There's your flat top Johnny's Pep Boys haircut looking vintage headstock that looks surprisingly like a Harley Benton headstock. Oh my gosh. Oh dear. Oh Lord. I've been caffeinated this morning. Apologies for that, folks. Vintage style tuners. You can see in the back it is a John Hornby Skews production. And quick aside, quick, small, brief, short interlude of sorts. The good folks at John Hornby actually got sued recently by Gibson and made the news in the last couple weeks. Gibson sued him for two things. Counterfeiting, which is making Gibson guitars that are Gibson guitars but aren't. And then copyright violation. Making Gibson guitars, or making guitars that look like Gibson guitars by having a single cutaway shape and some kind of headstock or combination therein that makes us feel uncomfortable about our intellectual property. Not surprisingly, the counterfeiting one got thrown out because nothing said Gibson on it, and the judge just threw that out in the last couple weeks. I believe the case is being heard in the UK, jolly old England. So anyway, in July of next year, I believe, I could be wrong, is when the actual rest of the charges in the case will be heard. So keep up the good fight, because come on, man, that is, while in the ballpark, inspired by, interesting by, all that kind of stuff, it's not a Gibson Les Paul. So I would say, Gibson, respectfully, get over it. Thanks. Have a nice day. I've been Nick in the States. No, I go on. There's a guitar. We're going to talk about that now. I've returned back to reality. So, but very cool. They work with Trev Wilkinson, the founder, creator, and wonderful person behind Wilkinson stuff. So it's mostly Wilkinson, or I think all Wilkinson hardware. And it's really kind of nice. And I think that they offer this finish in two different ways. This is the transparent amber version of the AFD. There's also one that's more of a paradisey, and this is supposed to be a paradise finish. But if you remember my Harley Benton SC550, what they do is they dye it in like a dark black or dark brown, sand that back, and then stain this over it, so it makes the top really pop in photos and sometimes in person. This is more of just a natural amber over flame maple, if you look. And I like this because there's less here to screw up, to be honest. Guitar is made in China. Guitar weighs about 11 pounds. She's heavy. And I bought this from a shop in the UK, I'll put a link down below, over eBay. And I got a really good deal because it has the smallest of smallest finish cracks coming down from right around the nut. So I got this for Harley Benton SC550 money, shipped to me in the States using eBay's global shipper program. I'm blathering, and I apologize. So let's talk about the guitar. As I say, standard Gibson single cut Les Paul sort of amenities and measurements and all that stuff. sort of dark and mean and powerful as a mofo. In fact, when I got this guitar, I actually had to slam the pickups down. Those are both reduced. You see the neck is actually sitting inside, like down below the plane of the top of the rep mount, and the other one is right about there. And the reason was out of the box it was dark, loud, high output, but I couldn't groove with it. It was too much. It couldn't deal. And so I A-B'd it with a bunch of other guitars, and I think the Michael Kelly Patriot Eclipse, probably just out of frame over there, is probably one of the hotter humbucker guitars I have. And this thing kind of blew it out of the water, and it lost some fidelity. It wasn't Epiphone ice pick loud. You know, like high output Epiphones tend to be that ceramic-y kind of, and it loses the bass and the definition. This was just loud and overwhelming, and all my settings and all my stuff wasn't there. So I dropped down the pickups, and was able to get it to be definitely more tame. So now it's definitely better, but it's still a bassy, big sounding guitar. But I dig it. I've had a bunch of questions since the unboxing video of how this would compare to my SE550 and from Harley Benton. And I will say this is the world's nicest Harley Benton. And I mean that as a compliment. If you've owned an SC450 or 550, whatever, you'll be very much familiar with this shape. There's rumors that they're made in the same factory. I don't know. But it feels really nice, and the devil is in the details with a two-piece, really nice mahogany back, with the way that the top is done just at a really high detail. And all the finish work stuff, like, you know, how the paint's masked off by the top, coming around there. She just feels like a Harley Benton custom shop model, which allegedly, maybe, sort of, is what, what they are, right? You know, the vintage brand name's kind of cool. The headstock, any qualms you have with the Harley Benton, or maybe some of the Yamaha headstocks, you're going to kind of also have here. But I will tell you, oh, and no scarf joint, no multi-piece heel. It's a one-piece mahogany neck. Very cool. And the stain is just really nice. What's interesting is, unlike a lot of other manufacturers, if you look at the comfort heel here, they haven't rounded off this part. Whereas if you look on, like, hold on, please hold while I grab another guitar and turn this guitar off. But they haven't rounded off that heel, so from an access it still sort of gets in your way. If you look at the Harley Benton Patriot Eclipse, yes, I know they lent this to me and I was going to send it back. They didn't give it to me, I bought it because I couldn't part with it. But if you look at the heel, see how that access is really smooth in there like that? The Harley Benton SC550 and I think the 450s also have different versions of that heel. Where this guy, you can see there's still a big chunk of wood in your way. Which, you know, is what it is. That's kind of how it goes. That's how they designed it. But overall, the guitar feels like quality. So many people recommended them on the channel. Told me to get a look, and it took me a while to line up the stars to get one. And now that I do, I dig it. I dig it. Fret's perfect. No issues with setup. Pretty much intonated out of the box. So very cool. Let's run through a couple tones through the variations of the rig. As recently normal, we've been going through a Polytune 2 Noir from TC Electronic, the MXR Custom Badass 78 Distortion, the Electro Harmonix Soul Food, just to goose it a little, the Joyo California tone for those biggie, mesa-y tones, Hall of Fame Reverb Mini Pedal, probably not using it today, but today we're going into a PV Bandit Red Stripe 112. And why, you ask that? Well, allegedly, not even allegedly, I can back it up, it's one of the nicest clean tone amps I could find. And it's solid state, but it has spring reverb. And it just has really, really sweet tones, takes pedals well. And a couple people rightfully commented that, like, a $200 guitar will always sound great through the $1,000 Mesa Blue Angel that I have, which is true. So this may be a little bit of the, you know, what you can do on a budget rig, but that doesn't suck. Anywho, on with the demos! of tones, and then bridge. Fun Les Paul like she should, but definitely has some of that bottom end, especially when the neck pickup. She's beefy. Clean her up just a little bit though, but. She's still got the spank. She cleans up nice and roll the volume off. And then she can do the semi-rip your face off. Anyway, this is the vintage V100 AFD PARA DI53. Yes, from jolly old England, originally from jolly old People's Republic of China. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I've been Nick in the States. Obviously, I have issues. Take care.